Top 10 Racing Games. 1. Forza Motorsport. It's entirely possible that the upcoming Forza 7 will take its place as the best car racing game ever made, but until then, it's safe to say that Forza Motorsport 4 reigns supreme. Released in 2011 from the Xbox 360, Forza Motorsport 4 immediately became known as the premier racing simulator of the previous console generation thanks to its engaging, balanced handling system, massive roster of cars, and of course, old Top Gear integration. It struck the perfect balance between difficult and accessible, able to challenge both hardcore simulation fans and draw in people just looking for a fun pick-up and drive experience. Detractors will point to its original lack of Porsches, thanks, Electronic Arts, slightly less expansive lineup of tracks, and overall novice-friendly setup, but compare it to its contemporaries. Gran Turismo 5 and 6 may have featured more cars, but a perfunctory damage system plus the obnoxious recycling of ugly car models from the PS2 days with no cockpit view made for a less polished experience compared to Forza 4. That in turn makes Forza's obsession with rendering even the smallest details on its cars all the more impressive. It was also the last game in the series to try and offer an all-encompassing simulation experience, with zany cars like the Pontiac Aztek and GMC Vondor sharing the screen with glorious hypercars like the Ferrari LaFerrari. Subsequent entries have focused more on professional racing, leaving Forza Motorsport 4 as the ultimate all-around car game. 2. Need for Speed Rivals. The most prolific racing game franchise of all time, Need for Speed titles have almost always been good. Few have been great, though. Need for Speed Rivals, a game that straddled the line between two console generations, proved to be the most impressive entry yet. Set in an open world, Rivals refined the cops and robbers mechanic from Hot Pursuit and Most Wanted, implementing unique narratives depending on which role you took. And rebounds per game of sorts, with each stunt-fueled objective completed, your driver leveled up. Rivals blurred the line between single-player and multiplayer by letting you join up with friends without leaving an instance of your game. 3. Dirt Rally. The first Dirt Rally was a revelation when it arrived in 2015. Departing from the snapback caps and energy drink ads that erstwhile came to define the Dirt series and renewing its focus on the staggering challenge of, well, just keeping a car on the track of a rally course. Dirt Rally 2 does that too, and it's better at it in every way. Rallying is an incredibly high-skill discipline, and Codemasters don't ask any less of you than a real 4WD/WRC vehicle would. At least, that's how it feels. In truth, none of us have first-hand experience of how it feels to fling a Citroen through Finland's dirt roads as quickly as Sebastian Ogier can do it, nor will we ever. But the transfer of weight in dirt rallies cars, the feeling of raw power while the wheels scrabble for traction under you, feel utterly convincing. 4. iRacing. With its regular online racing leagues and meticulous car and track modeling, iRacing is as close to real racing as you can get on the PC. That also means iRacing is something you need to work up to. It has no meaningful single-player component and, with its subscription fees and live tournament scheduling, it requires significant investment. Oh, and a force feedback wheel is quite literally required here. That's not us saying the gamepad support is poor. The game just won't let you race unless you have a wheel. But for a certain class of sim racing fan, there is nothing that compares. The very best iRacing players often compete in real motorsport too, and make a career out of esports sim racing. And having first released now over a decade ago in 2008, it's consistently stayed astride with the latest simulators each year. Quite an achievement. 5. Asphalt Xtreme Rally Racing. This is undoubtedly one of the top car racing games for people who love rally racing. It has a very high rating of 4.5 and is an addictive game that features 50 plus monster machines. Asphalt Xtreme Rally Racing is a fun to play game that is highly customizable. The game can be played on multiplayer mode, gives you an amazing off-road experience. 6. TrackMania. Now nearly a decade old but still perfectly formed, TrackMania 2 is split into 3 different games: Stadium, Valley, and Canyon. Each offers a different flavor of physics-defying cartoonish racing, and each demands a short burst of absolute perfection from you if you want to trouble the upper echelons of the leaderboards, which, obviously, you will. You don't need the complete collection to enjoy TrackMania's gleefully uninhibited F-Zero meets Sonic the Hedgehog racing action. With endless levels thanks to the powerful level editor, and tracks more improbable than Escher architecture, TrackMania 2 is the most classically PC of the arcade racers. R Factor 2. 7. Driver, San Francisco. Driver, San Francisco for PS3, Xbox 360, and we had more of a storyline than most games on this list. An action-adventure racing game set in an open world, its campaign included several different types of events, but the standout feature was shift. In a change from previous entries, the ability to exit your vehicle was removed in favor of an instant shift ability that bounced you from car to car. The mechanic worked as seamlessly as advertised and added to the versatility of missions, injecting them with new layers of strategy. The local and online multiplayer modes also stood out thanks to a lavish list of about 20 different variants, from regular races to vehicular tag to cops and robbers. 8. MotoGP. Two wheels might be considered blasphemy in some corners of the racing community, but for all those willing to divide the usual wheelbase by half, Milestone's licensed MotoGP sim offers quite a rush. Motorcycle racing is inherently exciting. The lean angles, suicidal overtakes and acceleration rates just make for a great spectator sport. And Italian superbike specialists Milestone really nail that feeling of terror and bravery of being on a factory MotoGP bike. The Codemasters F1 games are obviously a big inspiration, to put it politely, but the upshot for anyone playing it is a layer of career simulation on top of the racing. Work your way up through slower categories, build a reputation, and hold out for that big team ride. 9. Riptide GP Series. The Riptide GP series is one of the most woefully under-the-radar racing games series out there. It's a wave runner game where you don a jet ski and race against opponents. Renegade has a campaign mode, online multiplayer mode, and various other little things to make it fun. It even includes local multiplayer mode with up to 4 players on a single machine, if you have enough controllers. The other 2 games in the series, Riptide GP2 is also really good. Vector Unit also does other racing games like Beach Buggy Blitz that is really good. Frankly, Vector Unit's racing games are the best non-freemium racing games on Android, probably. This is also one of the best offline racing games for Android as well, and all 3 games in the series are playable offline. 10. Mario Kart Tour. Mario Kart Tour briefly held the record as the most successful mobile game launch in history until Call of Duty Mobile came around a few weeks later. The mobile version of the game is a bit watered down from the console experience, but there's enough there to feel like a Mario Kart game rather than just another mobile racer. You can unlock a variety of racers from the Mushroom Kingdom, compete in a variety of races, and there are a couple of different game modes as well. It should get online multiplayer at some point in 2020 as well. Nintendo needs to tone down the microtransactions a little bit, but otherwise this is a delightful mobile arcade racer with just enough Mario Kart to feel like a Mario Kart game.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to escape the ordinary and comment what you'd like to see next.